Hello, and welcome to another episode of Theme Park Appreciation. My name is Jake, and if you haven't watched an episode of this series before, I like to take the time to talk about the guest experience in themed entertainment venues. Now, I'm not talking about attractions or dining locations, even shops. Instead, I want to talk about things that are much smaller than that. Things that the guest doesn't even pay attention to, but things that are absolutely pivotal in shaping and enhancing the guest experience. Now, in previous episodes, I've spoken about plants, lighting techniques, interactive characters, and even how theme parks transition between one land and another. And today I'm going to talk about something that a lot of guests don't appreciate enough. And that's part of the design, the original design, of Disney California Adventure Park. Now, for some reason, Disney online communities hate this park. I am not going to talk about any of that because this park gave us so much that we love about Disney California Adventure today and the Disneyland Resort. Now, I love Disney California Adventure. I wish that it had been able to see it in its original glory back when the park opened in 2001. One of the best things about Disney California Adventure is that it turned a single park into a resort destination. It gave us downtown Disney, the Esplanade, the Mickey and Friends parking structure, and of course, Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. Today, I'm going to talk for a couple minutes about the significance of this hotel and how it fits into the larger Disneyland resort complex, and how it creates one of the best themed lands in any Disney park around the world. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the history or creation of Disney's California Adventure, but all you need to know is that it was originally going to be a lot of things before it was ultimately changed into a park taking you around California. It was also going to be located in a lot of other places. One plan even had it going to be built in the port of Long Beach, but that's a story for another day. The expansion of the Disneyland Resort to create a second park was ultimately decided to be placed in the parking lot of the Disneyland Park. Because Imagineers wanted to utilize as much of this land as possible, they decided to not put in a berm, or an outer rim to the park. Now at Disneyland, the berm is the Disneyland Railroad, and while there have been lands that have built outside of the berm, whenever you are in the Disneyland Park, you are separated from the world around you. This is what makes Disneyland so magical. Once you enter, there is nothing to pull you away from the magic that is the Disneyland Park. When Disney California Adventure was built, there weren't that many tall buildings around it, so this wasn't too much of a problem. Unfortunately, as the Disneyland Resort grew in popularity, so did the land around it. So higher buildings began to be built behind the park that could then be seen from inside the park. There's one exception to all of this, and that is the land Grizzly Peak. It was originally called Condor Flats, and this land does not get enough appreciation, and it's part of the story that is Disney's Grand Californian Hotel. This land brought incredible attractions that had never been seen in other Disney parks: Soarin' and Grizzly River Run. Now, I absolutely love these attractions, but because the story's not about them, I'm not going to go into too much detail other than to say that Soarin' is a hang gliding ride and Grizzly River Run is a rapids ride. The land that these attractions are in is huge. In fact, it's bigger than the original Fantasyland that Walt created at the Disneyland Park back in 1955. So with the land so big, how do you contain it? How do you make it feel like it's its own thing? Well, Disney made the Grand Californian Hotel. Overseas, Disney park visitors might be used to having resort hotels encroach upon their theme park, but this has never happened in a Disney park in the United States before. Never before has a Disney resort guest in the United States been able to look out their window and see an unblocked view right into the park. Now, some people don't think that the Grand Californian fits into the land, and I completely disagree. The green and brown colors of the Grand Californian fade in perfectly with the current green and brown colors of Grizzly Peak. The stonework and the woodwork of the Grand Californian Hotel blend perfectly into Grizzly Peak as well. In fact, this blend is so perfect that for the first time in Disney Parks history, Disney made a second entrance into their theme park in Grizzly Peak. For guests who were staying at the Grand Californian Hotel, this will allow them to leave the Grand Californian Hotel and enter right into Grizzly Peak and get Disney California Adventure. While this absolutely makes things more convenient for hotel guests, it's not so much more convenient than walking through downtown Disney and going in with other day guests. because they also have an entrance into downtown Disney. But the reason this entrance exists is because it makes sense to walk from the Grand Californian into Grizzly Peak and vice versa. Not because of efficiency, it's because the story makes sense. Now, yes, Grizzly Peak is themed around redwood forests and aviation, and the Grand Hotel is themed around a wood craftsman style. Visually, though, they're not too dissimilar from one another. I still believe, even with the creation of new lands at Disney California Adventure like Buena Vista Street and Cars Land, that Grizzly Peak is the best themed land in the entire park. Not just because its attractions are great or its proximity to a hotel, but because once you are in Grizzly Peak, there comes a point where you can't see anything else around you from any other lands or even outside the park, and you are 100% immersed. You can lose yourself walking through the trails, and when you're staying or dining at the Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, you look out the window and you see the grizzly bear-shaped mountain out your window. It feels like you're staying at a national park lodge in the Rocky Mountains. Now, I know I might be rambling a little bit, and I might have lost a specific focus to this video, but to sum everything up, theming is important. You might have a fantastic character, or a great attraction, or a killer restaurant, but at the end of the day, if they aren't brought together by something bigger than all of them, a theme, then what's the point? There is so much more I wish I could talk about the Grand Californian Hotel, and that is stuff I can absolutely speak about in a future video. But the connection between this hotel and this land is seamless. It's perfect. Disney, please do more of this. Also, Imagineers, if you're watching, hi, I'm Jake, please hire me, wink wink. Anyway, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. And if you like it, or if you have any questions or comments, please drop them down below and I will do my best to answer whatever you have. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.